Okay guys, so I just recorded a haul video, but you know what? We're going to jump right into trying out the Crafter Companion paper pleating set. Just making rosettes the way I normally do. So let's try that out. Again, they're not going to be any special shape. It's going to be like the circle, but you can definitely, you know, make shapes, I guess, if you want to be patient and kind of cut that kind of thing, or maybe you have a die that'll help you with that. I don't know. But it was requested from people to show how I do my rosettes. Like I said, I have tons of videos on that already, but we'll try it out today using these guys. And I will say, generally, I use the 1/4 inch pleating. I know that paper pleating set has sold out on HSN. You might want to check Crafter's Companion, but maybe some of the other items I'll be using will be available there on HSN or wherever I might have picked it up, and those links would be affiliate links down in the description box, which means I'll make a small commission if you purchase items to those links. I just grabbed this Hunkydory paper there on HSN, and I have it here sitting here, and you know what? Let's use it. So I'm going to use this silver one. Stunning Silver it's called. And generally I use 1/4 inch cuts, and I like a 11-inch piece of paper or 12-inch piece of, you know, like a strip. And if you don't have the paper that long, or however, you can splice 2 pieces together. So this stuff, this A6 size paper is 6 inches exactly. So that's nice. Hello, you see me there? Nice angle. I'm just kind of like this. Anyway, I usually do 1/2 inch strips or 1 inch strips. You know, it changes, right? If you do a 1/2 inch, the sizing is going to be different than a 1 inch strip. So maybe today we'll do both of them. And how I normally do it is let me put this down so it doesn't freak out, because that's also what happens here on my channel. So what I normally do is I'll leave it twice as thick. So if I'm doing 1/2 inch strips, I'll leave an inch strip. If I'm doing 1 inch strips, I'll do a 2 inch strip to begin with, and then I cut it in half after I do my scoring. Obviously these guys are going to do the scoring for us, so I'll still do the same thing, because you don't want to work with like little strips and then all that. So let's do that. And I usually do 1/4 inch score lines, which is my preference. These larger score lines for me is for like a larger strip of paper, because, you know, it just make it faster, right? So if you want to make really big rosettes, you can definitely do that. You're going to want several strips that you're going to stick together so you can make a nice big rosette. And you're probably going to want like the 1/2 inch score lines, right? So instead of just making up and down so much that you're just like, okay, you can get it done twice as fast, right, with this one. This one, I guess, is 3/8 of an inch. I don't know. It's just a little bit smaller than the 1/2 inch one, and then you have your 1/4 inch, which is what we'll use today. So, like I normally do, I'm going to cut this into a 1 inch strip. Actually, with this one, I mean, I can put the whole thing in there and then just cut it afterwards, right? Okay, let's just do that. So I'm just going to score this whole thing. Why not? And then we'll cut it afterward. Generally, what I'm trying to say is, if I have a 1 inch strip, I'll put it on my scoreboard and go, and then I'll cut it at the 1/2 inch. And that way you only scored one time and you have your rosette, right? Obviously, if you're making a ton of rosettes, you can definitely go with larger. The larger or wider your paper, it's kind of more annoying because you're really like doing all this. And so this will help. So let's just put it in here. Why not? And the other thing is Crafter's Companion is that their name is on one side of the thing, but that's where it's actually raised, where it's raised up. So then you want to face your paper towards like this side. So towards these purple strips. I guess if your paper is a certain, you know, one-sided or whatever, maybe it doesn't matter. So this does hit everywhere on that 6 inches, of course. So I'm just lining it up on one of these lines. And then the bottom one basically hits that last one. I will say, when I ran this through my Platinum 6, I needed a shim. This paper is thicker though, so let's try it without a shim, and then if I need a shim, I'll do that. So I still have my thing here from last time. So on the Platinum 6, of course, the Gemini, whatever you use, Empress, just read your instruction for what you need for a something like this for your standard embossing folder. It's not a 3D embossing folder. So I need my A, my B, and then a cutting plate. If I don't feel like it gave me a lot of tension, I might add in one of these guys. Just a plastic shim. I do have the Gemini. I have the Gemini Junior. I had the Gemini Go, but I sold it. I do have the new Gemini. I just have the Empress sitting on my counter here. See, it doesn't feel like anything. But just because it doesn't feel like anything doesn't mean it didn't put lines, right? So we can check before we add something. And another thing people always ask me about warp plates. I don't know if you can see, I've cut into this probably hundreds, if not, I don't think 1,000 times, but hundreds of times. it's not warped at all, because I always go with the least amount of pressure to get the job done. If that's an electronic machine or whatever, like I know with Crafts Companion might say you need to put the rubber shim, the this and this, the magnet, you know, all these different things, that's fine. But if you take away one of those shims, it might still cut just perfectly. So like, I always start with the least amount of pressure that gets the job done. And I've always been that way with my Cuttlebug. Those never warped. I mean, that's just my rule of thumb. So as I look at this, it's okay. I can see it's still not great. So I'm gonna go ahead and put that back on here, put this back on, and add a plastic shim. And run it one more time. So again, least amount, build up, and see what you need. Now I feel like a little more pressure, and that'll probably do it. Okay, we have all our lines on this guy. Again, like I said, the lines are a little thicker than, you know, if I was to just go scoring by hand. Okay, so we're just going to cut this into strips, so I'll be right back. Okay, so this paper is 6 inches, I would say by 4, it was by 4 1/4. So I mean, I can make a ton of rosettes with this, but I do like 1/2 inch strips, and I like 1 inch strips with the 1/4 inch sizing. So I'm going to cut 2 strips at 1/2 inch, and I'll cut 2 strips at 1 inch, just to show you the difference. And then you're going to need something to hold your rosettes together in the very center, and then whatever you want to put on them. Like, it can be just that easy, or it can be, you know, all decked out. So 1 inch strips, 3/4 inch strips, whatever you guys like. I'm just showing you some examples and the different sizing when you do that. And then I still have this 1 1/4 inch strip left, and you know, I can cut that one in half and make another whatever, or use this, you know. Okay. I'll probably fire up my hot glue gun here in just a moment. But let's get a little closer. And essentially we're just going to crinkle them. Now, you know, you might think, well, maybe you should crinkle it while it's still one piece, right? The 1 inch strip, or even the whole thing right now. But when you take it to your cutter, you know, it's going to be a little gangly. You're going to have to flatten it back out and all that. So to me, I just do it afterwards, so that's fine. But you're just going to hill and valley fold. And when you're going to join 2 of them together to make a nice rosette, you might want to pay attention to how many hills and valleys you can get, because what happens with the next one is it might meet up perfectly if you're still doing the same hill and valleys, like folding it the same, or you should start folding it opposite what you did so that they can meet up. So like here, right? So now I want that glued to this one so I can continue on. So to start the next one, I'm going to go up instead of down. See how I began down, up, down, up? So now I'm going to start up, down, down. And that way, when you put it together, they just meet up really nicely. Okay, so I'm going to finish this up. This is very quick. Obviously, that was faster than, you know, hand scoring. And whatever it is you like. Let's go, let's go. And as you can see, I didn't really take time to really flatten it out, but you can definitely, especially with this material, but you can definitely gather it back up and give it a really good squish. I wasn't accounting for that right now. Give it a squish. Like, really flatten it out if that's what you want, right? Okay, so let me fire my glue gun. I do want to start these off by being glued together. I did use something that has a slick surface, which is quite annoying, so it's going to take a little minute to settle up, but put a little glue on the back of that one, the front of this one, and I always try to find an area where they're going to meet up really nicely so that there's no piece that's higher than the other. I hope that makes sense. You know, we are cutting this by hand, and it can make a little difference. So that's nice and flat, like flush, at least on one side. And I'll make sure when I join this together that the other side's nice and flush. That way it's just perfectly straight, right? So I'm gonna let that set up. I'm gonna score these guys the same thing, up and down, and then down, up, because it's gonna be different. Again, you can kind of give it a nicer squish as you're working with it. I was just kind of getting the folds in. This paper is doing a nice job again. We talked about working with adorable scoreable the other day, especially a delicate paper like this one, and it's doing great. I mean, it's not cracking at all. Looking really good. Funny enough, the score line is on that side pushing out, so we had talked about that. Okay, I'll get the other one going, and I'll link that together. Oh, and also if you're having your hot glue gun fired up anyway, I mean, you can definitely glue this together with the hot glue the way I'm doing right now, just to add your strips. Again, our junction is like right here. I try to make sure that's nice and flush, so when I curve this around to glue these guys together, I pay attention to where that nice flush one is in case they're off at all. You know, I cut the 1/2 inch, maybe it's more than like a 1/2 inch and a 62nd or something, I don't know, but this is the one that's nice and flush, so I'm going to make sure this side's nice and flush. And this side will be the one that goes towards the inside, but you know, it's actually pretty perfect. Wow. Okay, so you're going to link them together because you want a nice big full, I guess full rosette. This could be 8 inches, it'll still work, but essentially right now it's 12 inches with 1/2 inch overlapped, so a little bit is taken away because of that. I stuck those two together. You are going to need some kind of center for the front and the back, and if you're going to hang it, you might want to add a little baker's twine or something cute. Let me see. Let me grab a baker's twine. There it is. And for the centers, you know, it depends on what you're doing. You might want a smaller one like this 1 inch one. You might want a larger one. I'm going to grab a different one, hand punch real quick, because I think the only other one I have is like 2 inches, and that's way too big, but I'll be right back. So I have this. I did grab a die, because the next one, my hand punch, even that is really big, but you know, just eyeball it, or put it together and then see what it is that you want for your center. So I'm going to run this through some gold paper. You need a circle for the front and the back. Obviously, if you don't want to waste your nice paper, I would say the back one can be anything, right? White paper, black paper, whatever. I'm still going to cut out 2 of this, and I think on the same one I should have room to cut out a couple of these guys. So again, you need 2. Oh, that's not quite on there the way we would want. There we go. Nope. Like I said, this guy is kind of funny. You know, I lifted it up straight and then it still is acting funny. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to pop out 2 of the small one and cut out 2 of the medium-sized one. And those through. This one might not be perfect. Oh, I just caught the edge, so that's good. I thought it was so close. Look at that. It works well. That'll be fine. I was going to put that in the back anyway. So if you want to hang it, you can make yourself like a little hanger or add whatever you want. I'm going to turn this over. I'll put it on this one. Put a little hot glue here to help me with that. I will link in the description box a video where I just made it from scratch in case you don't have these. I figured people are asking about this because they have the set, but maybe you don't have the set and you're just wondering how to make rosettes. I don't know. A friend of mine here says, oh, don't forget to stick them to your sticky mat, because basically right now we're going to turn these guys inside out, not inside out, but towards the inside. And when you do that, it can get a little gangly. I usually try to gather them up and then just try to flatten them out as much as I can, right? You're trying to push them to lay down. This one does have a lot of extra. A lot of times I'll do 8 inches on this, but like I said, we went with that 12 inch. But anyway, just turn it flat. Some people use a lid from like, just a lid, you know what I'm saying? From like a pasta sauce or something, that you can kind of pop this into and it'll hold it for you. I just kind of finagle it until it gets to where I want it to go, which is about here. And look at that little guy. Okay, so something like that. So you kind of train it, but let's start with this one since it's bigger and I can show you that easier, and I already have this one ready too. So again, same thing, I just kind of turn it in. And you can see this one wants to do it easier because it has a lot more surface area that you can kind of mess with. Again, we're just trying to gather in the center as it goes along too. Oh, I've made oval ones too, which is really fun. So I don't know if you saw that oval shape that I already made. You can do that too. Okay, so I'm going to kind of take that, and I just kind of train it as I get there. So I'm going to hold it with my hand right now. And, oh, I'm running out of hot glue. Get yourself a good amount of hot glue, especially in the center. Right? Bring this guy over, and you will have time to work with it. So get it together, push it in. You really want that, everything up and down towards the center. This one's acting funny on me. There we go, there we go. not flat right there. Generally don't have to work with it this much, but this is that metallic paper, so it's a little different. There we go. You're going to cover this up, so don't worry about whatever's happening here. And then once I get it all centered, sorry, I hope you can see, I kind of play with this a little bit so that everything's kind of where it needs to be. So I guess then my friend says, oh, you put it on your grip mat, you can definitely do that. I'm going to hold this for a little bit. It doesn't really matter how it is on the back, honestly, to me. If it's off center, you're not going to see that anyway. So that's how I play that. And once it's holding, I'll come in and I'll get more of this. This time I will put quite a bit more. This is a delicate paper, but look how cute that is. And then this time, of course, you're going to center it. You're paying attention. It's pretty hot. I don't want to touch it with my hand. Okay, I'm going to let that set up. And then we'll do our second one. The second one, we're going to use the small centers, okay? Okay guys, look how pretty. And then, you know, whatever little bits you want to put, die cuts, stickers, whatever you're doing. I went ahead and finagled this one to not waste your guys' time, but again, just, yeah, gather it. And I put some hot glue there. I generally work on a different surface than my grid because in case I get hot glue all over, but that's okay. So just pick this guy up as best you can and bring it over. It's so funny because that plastic coating really wants to just like pop. Just pop it on there. Okay, I'm gonna hold that down again. Once I have it where I want, I'm kind of looking again up and down. This could be an 8-inch strip. The 12-inch, you can see it made a lot of ruffle, which is very cute. But just keep that in mind. I'm gonna hold that till it doesn't want to move, and then we'll put our top on. Okay guys, so I mean I held it for a good minute, but look how full this one is. Super cute. Again, play with links, you know, of whatever. You see how crooked that is in the back? That's okay. You'll get better at it. I was just kind of really worried more about that coated paper that just wants to bounce back at you. So I'll put this on here. Look how cute. Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm gonna hold that down. Not as hot as the first time for whatever reason. Maybe I put more on this one. But I'll be right back. Okay guys, I mean, I am just in love with these. So you have your little hanger on this one. Of course, you're going to pay attention to the hanger where it's at. So when you decorate it, it hangs the right way. Everything's facing the right way. And look at this little guy. Cute, cute, cute. Again, cut a smaller circle, whatever as you want. The thickness, I would say the thickness, like on the next one, if it was going to be any bigger than this 1 inch, I would probably skip to the 3/8 or to the 1/2 inch folder just because it makes it easier. But I love this. Like for me, this is my standard one. This is my mini. I can show you that here. This guy, I probably did a 1 inch. No, I think I did 1.5 on this one just because I knew this die cuts were going to be bigger. So there's like that one with some Anna Griffin stuff on it. This one just has some cute little things on the back of it. I was going to say this one might be a 3/4 inch, if not. Maybe just turned out differently, you know, it just depends on how much you're squishing it there. The center, and then I added some dimensionals and some stickers and some chipboard. Whatever you want to do from this point on, decorate them up, and there you go. So hopefully they gave you a quick idea. I know, it kind of did its thing because of this coating. I mean, it is some thick paper, and it is plasticky, basically. So she wanted to bounce back. Where like these, when it's just, this is lightweight, like layering paper, it just falls in line because it just does whatever you want. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope that gave you some example, some idea. And thanks for all your comments and checking out the paper pleating video, the initial one I did. And, you know, hopefully if you don't like templates, I mean, I didn't really care for the templates, that you can still use your folders for this, because that made it really fast. I mean, it takes minutes to score it yourself. But like I said, I'll link probably the one for this one, because I am just using paper, layering weight paper, but you can use any paper on that video. Or maybe one that's just more about rosettes, because I think in this one I did a rosette, but I also did like a card or a tag or something, I can't remember. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I will have links as appropriate, and I'll see you at the next one. Bye now.